Hey, David, anchor point notes. We're pop guitar players. We don't play jazz. We focus on sharp keys. E, A, D, G, and of course C, though we don't have a C string because B is a terrible key. And these go down progressively. E has 4 sharps, A has 3, D has 2, G has 1, and C has none. I call those the big 5 guitar keys. So you already know your open strings. That's your principal anchor points: E, A, D, G, B, E. But you have to remind yourself that at the 12th fret they all repeat. That's your octave fret: E, A, D, G, B, E. And I name these notes by their fret. So this is E12, and so is that. That's a double octave, E to E, and that occurs everywhere: D to D, C to C, A to A, etc. So again, E12, B12, G12, D12, A12, E12. Those are your secondary anchor points after the open notes. The final round of sort of foundational anchor points is the 5th fret, where you've always tuned your guitar. Without thinking much, you knew this was an A intuitively because it matches your open A string. So here we have A, D, G. You tune with B, but we don't want to focus on B. We want to stay at the 5th fret and think about C5. Then E5, which we've already studied, and A5, which is simply the octave of the A you started on. So the 5th fret is the one spot on the entire fretboard where the big 5 keys all fall in a row. It's the only place. So I base a lot of my skill system and teaching at the 5th fret. That's why I call these the big 5 at 5, which is the 5th fret. Again, A5, D5, G5, C5, E5, and then the high A5. And in order to help ground this, we gave it a series of active scales. So starting on A5, major pentatonic active scales. There's A7. That's your octave shape we talked about. So an octave goes 2 frets higher but skips a string. So that's A5 to A7, D5 to D7. Now because of the B shift, we have a 3 fret span. G5 to G8, C5 to C8. So you can play a little row of octaves, and that's instructive too. But back to the active scales. A to A7. Now we go to D5, and you gotta say these out loud. D5, D7, G5, that's G8, there's your B shift. C5, you gotta slide your middle finger here, just like the open scale. There's your C8. Then when you get to E5, just leap up to the octave with that ring finger. Okay, and then finally when you get to A5, you just do a little static position. And that leads us to our final exercise. You take this A, move it to G3. These are what I call static scales, single position scales. A5. We're going to skip B because it sucks ass as a key. C8. D10. E12. D. C. A. G. Have fun, bud.